talk maybe sometime tomorrow, maybe after the meeting, wherever we can get that coordinated. Hey, John.
Yeah.
I'd like to throw a compliment your way. Thank you very much. Since I've known you going on, I don't know how long now, you've always looked toward supporting the small communities and making sure that they were aware of what was going on. So I commend you for the effort, and I thank you for caring enough to take care of us on that part. I appreciate it, John.
Thank you for the compliment. I don't get many.
Okay, is there anyone else? Public comments? Okay, hearing none, we'll move. Oh, go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah. If there's nobody else, then I'll chime in here. Again, this evening, as a member of the public, I'm reading some thoughts that were communicated by my father at a public meeting in Roseman some 70 years ago. Leadership requires an ongoing development of objective, critical thinking with the ability to analyze all pertinent facts in order to come to a conclusion. Decisions made by us today will be passed on to the next generation, the next board of directors. Keeping decisions local will assure an effective voice for the community. The board of directors, the staff of Rcsd, and the community of Roseman have a joint responsibility.
When was the RSD established?
65, 66? Yeah, somewhere in mid-60s. Yeah, mid-60s.
Director Glenn, as I always tell you, I'm amazed, and I hear a lot of information come across my desk. I'm amazed at how timely your dad's information was 7 years ago, and it's so applicable today. I'm utterly amazed at that. But thank you very much, and continue. And I am waiting for the first edition. Thank you. Anyone else in the public? At this time, it's 6:07, and we're going to close public comment. And we're going to open the voluntary public roll call via teleconference. If any member of the public on teleconference wishes to identify themselves as present for this meeting, please do so for the record in the minutes. We open it up now.
Roseman News is here. John Joyce reporting.
Good evening, John.
Hey.
Director Wood, making sure that I'm coming through now.
Yeah, we can hear you, Greg.
Thank you.
Okay, hearing no other for voluntary roll call, we close that, and we closed it at 6:07, and we move down at 6:08. We close the public voluntary roll call. We move down to the minutes, and we have several. We have 9 items of meeting minutes. So I hope you folks have had time to look at them. If you have any questions, let's address. If not, could I get a motion to approve M1 through M9 and I'll read them off. The minutes are for the February 23rd regular board meeting, the February 15th special board meeting, the February 15th sewer committee meeting, the February 14th finance committee meeting, the February 9th regular board meeting, the January 31st engineering committee meeting, the January 31st special board meeting, the January 26th regular board meeting, and the January 12th. These were all in the year 2022, and these were all minutes from either committee meetings, special board meetings, or committee meetings. Can I get a motion to approve, please?
Don't move, Byron.
We have a motion by Vice President Glennon. Can I get a second?
Second, Director Stewart.
You got Director Stewart. So we have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Stewart. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Rick Wood.
Yes.
Vice President Barry Glennon.
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart.
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace.
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
Will the records reflect that we had 5-0 vote for the approval of the minutes for the various meetings and committee meetings? We move on to CC1. There's the consent calendar to approve the check register voucher from 02122 to 02822. Can I get a motion?
Don't move.
We have a motion by Vice President Glennon. Can I get a second?
Second, Director Stewart.
We got second Director Stewart. Can I get a roll call vote?
President Rick West,
No.
Vice President Martin Glennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
For the record show, we have a 4-1 approval of the consent calendar for the consent calendar register. The check register from 02122 to 02822 4-1. Let's move to new business. And this is to new business. This is to approve the Board of Directors conference and meeting list, and our presenter is the General Manager, Steve. Steve, you have the floor.
Okay, I don't have the conference meeting list with me. Do you have that list?
I don't have it with me, but this is for insurance purposes through SDRMA.
I think what we need to do is we need to authorize the board's travel to the many board meetings and conferences that may arise throughout the year. That's for insurance purposes. Correct. Yeah. And it takes authorization by the board to authorize board members to do that travel for the purposes of CS or SDRMA. And I don't believe I got that list in my haste today with my schedule as crazy as it was. So, you'll do it? Sir? Yes.
Hey, Steve, question for you. Can we just vote to approve the conference, or do we have to have a specific list in front of us? Because I know different directors attend different conferences. Can we vote? Can there be a motion to approve the conferences that are attended by the directors, or do we have to have the specific list attached to the motion?
I will read the conference list. Ben had one, and so I'll read it.
Okay.
The Aqua Conference, Spring Conference, the Aqua JPIA Annual Meeting, the Aqua Fall Conference, the Aqua Board Meetings, elected positions. I think, Byron, you're part of that, are you not? Board member best practices with CSDA, Special District Leadership Academy, SDA, CSDA, the Special District's Legislative Days, CSDA, Annual Conference and Exhibitor Showcase, CSDA, and the General Manager Leadership Conference, CSDA. In addition, the SDRMA Annual Membership Meeting and Spring Safety Claims Education Day. The Water Use is Water Use Annual Conference. CASA Annual Conference and a CASA Technical Conference. And miscellaneous meetings that would be authorized is the Kern County Board of Trade State of the County Dinner, the AVAC meetings, the JPA Water Bank, Adjudication Water Master meetings, the 2022 Water Smart Innovation Conference, and the Aqua Region 6 and 7 for elected positions. Most of these are undetermined. The Kern County naturally state of the county is in Bakersfield, the AVAC in Palmdale, the JPA Water Bank in Roseman, and Adjudication Water Master Palmdale, the 2022 Water Smart Innovation Conference in Las Vegas, Aqua Region 6 and 7 elected position has not been determined as yet. So that's the list that you will be voting on. Thank you, Director Stewart. No worries. And things can be added to that if necessary when they come along.
Correct.
The main thing is just kind of a blanket thing for the insurance.
Correct.
I'm in the,
Sure, not my I couldn't understand him.
Okay, this is Director Wood. I'll make a motion to approve the list as stated by our general manager.
Second, Byron. Mr. President, are you there? I don't think so.
By President Wood, we have a second by Vice President Glennon to accept the meeting as presented to us by the general manager, pending additions. And we had Director Wood make the motion, Vice Glennon gave us a second. Can we get a roll call vote for that, please?
President Rick Wood,
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon,
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart,
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace,
Yes. Director
Greg Wood.
Yes.
The record showed that the approval for the meetings was a 5-0. Let's move down to presentations. And we have PR number 1 is Water Reclamation Plant Project Update. We have Brock Smith as our presenting. Brock, you there, sir?
Yes, I am. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Hey, good evening, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you. Since the last meeting, we've seen some parts arrive at the wastewater treatment plant. The parts that have arrived have been assembled and prepared for installation. More parts are scheduled to arrive this week. Some vendors are also scheduled to be on site as early as Friday to continue startup and certification. District staff also held a conference call with the blower manufacturer regarding delays in parts, and the call offered some explanation to the delay. The blower rep is scheduled to be on site March 21st to continue to repair the blowers and hopefully start those up. And that concludes my update of the water reclamation plan.
Okay. Hey, Brock, I know we ask every meeting. I know it's kind of, we don't know, but we're getting kind of close to being, getting everything on site that we haven't had. I know the big thing now, we always hear delays with getting things in, but are we pretty good as far as getting stuff you guys need to get that stuff online?
Yeah, the past few weeks have been good as far as actually receiving parts. Nothing has been complete shipments. It's been multiple small shipments, but as those parts are received, they're assembled and prepared for the remaining parts to arrive. So we're seeing progress, albeit not as fast as we'd like to see, but we are seeing progress and we're moving in the right direction.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for that. Director, any questions for Brock there? Okay, hearing none, let's continue. Let's go down to the director's comments. And the first, I'll start with this one here. And I have, Steve, if you could, with the things that you know about, you gave us some in closed session about some things. Could you kind of give us an update on the projects we have and kind of where they're sitting on your table as far as completion?
Okay. Wastewater treatment plant fence. We're fencing that. It's one of our largest capital improvement projects. Included the replacement of the existing stranded barbed wire fence at the treatment plant. The fencing contractor started in early January and is finishing the last section of fence this week. The fence will provide better security for the newly constructed plant and better appearance to those who drive by. As soon as that's completed, the Diamond Street fence. The fencing contractor is currently working at the treatment plant. We'll also install the fence along the west end of the district-owned parcels on Diamond Street. This fence will prevent illegal parking and eliminate traffic through the vacant parcel. Valve installations. This capital improvement project was to install new mainline valves in the area that were previously hard to isolate in emergencies. The first phase of the project was recently completed with the installation of 2 new valves on Poplar Street between 25th and 28th Streets. The second phase is currently in planning and will include the installation of multiple valves near 15th and Roseman Boulevard. County Pedestrian Path. The county is currently constructing a new pedestrian path along 20th Street West and Roseman Boulevard. The responsibility of the district and other utilities is to relocate and adjust existing infrastructure to not interfere with the new path. Staff has completed multiple hydrant relocations over the past few weeks and will be working on with the county throughout the project to adjust meter boxes and valve cans to final grade. I might add that whoever's doing the construction there is doing a very poor job of signage for their traffic flow. And
Yes, they are.
definitely,
Yes, they are.
they need to be. Somebody needs to advise the county whose project it is to get somebody out there to take a look at what they're doing. They're going to get somebody hurt.
Yes, they will, Steve. I concur with you on that one, sir.
The Urban Water Management Plan. The Urban Water Management Plan is a state-required document that must be completed by the water districts every 5 years. This document addresses the water needs of the district projected 20 years into the future. District staff has been working with Kennedy Jenks to develop the plan and are currently reviewing the draft plan. Our fog program. The district staff recently started working with EEC Environmental to develop a new fog and industrial waste program for the district. This plan will protect the district's collection system and the wastewater treatment process itself, and will be developed to meet our specific needs. The timeline for implementation is approximately 6 months. Arsenic Consolidation Project. After 15 years of planning, say that one more time. After 15 years of planning, the Arsenic Consolidation Program is nearing construction. All consolidating systems have completed their agreements, and the engineer has completed the plans and specs. Staff is now working with an outside firm to acquire the easements necessary for construction.
How long do you think it's going to take for it to get all the various easements? That's kind of a major job.
Probably another year.
A year to get the
Oh.
easements. Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Steve.
I got to stop right here and just say this. Although this has been a long project, we were subject to having to pay for this project ourselves back in 2016. It appears the state is going to fund the entire conversion. So,
And Land of Promise is back in.
and it's taken, and they put the Land of Promise back into the project.
It's very beneficial for the Land of Promise.
Absolutely. And so I sympathize and my frustration in how long this bureaucratic boondoggle has been going on.
All started with arsenic.
Is hopefully finally going to come to fruition someday.
Do we run a pipe along Land of Promise?
Pardon me?
Do we run a pipeline out there?
Yes, we will.
Does it become part of the district?
It will.
It'll be in the district then?
Yes. We'll annex that area.
Oh, interesting.
And it's the tank that almost looked like there was no purpose for it when it was put there.
Tank 5 will serve a purpose to feed the Land of Promise gravity flow from there and provide sufficient
That's on Don Road?
flow. Yes.
And it's gravity flow, which means the cost is way down than if we would have had to put a tank out there.
That's correct.
Which well pumps up there?
We pump out of Tank 3, which is fed by wells 8 and
Which
9.
one's tank 3? Which 3?
This one right above us is Tank 3. It'll pump up to Tank 5, fill that, and we'll gravity feed out of that.
We've been cycling through it all this time to some degree to keep it functioning, I guess.
Kind of safe to say.
Yeah.
Public, a little bit of history on this is that this was adopting the for conservatorship and named the RCSD conservator. Try to come up with a plan and a solution for their water issues out there. Long process. The RCSD is eye off the ball and is, kept moving forward, even though it seems like it's been inch by inch, but we're finally getting.
That's correct, Greg. One of the comments I made in our recent meeting was to the regulators who have been, on a regular basis, they'll send out our consolidated water groups that they're in violation of arsenic levels, etc., and they have to mitigate those. And it was to understand that they're trying to mitigate with a state program and have been held up this entire time at no fault of their own, and they have signed agreements and everything else and are ready and willing to take on the water, and just ask them, you need to carve them out of these letters threatening them to fine them for not doing it, because the state initiated the program. It's their responsibility, and they're fining the people because the state can't fast track, if you will, anything. So, moving on, Prop 1 grant through the Antelope Valley Integrated Regional Water Management Program, the district qualified for a $1.1 million Prop 1 grant funding to apply towards the wastewater treatment plant construction. The first required report was submitted, and the district is awaiting payment approval from Department of Water Resources. Wastewater arrearages program, the district applied for funding to help cover delinquent sewer bills generated during COVID. Application was submitted, but has not yet been approved.
Hey, Steve, I have a question about that, Steve, about that grant. Is that the state or the federal that's going to offer that up if we get approved?
The 1.1 million?
No, the one for the waste, for the back payments for those folks. Is that a state or?
Yeah, that originates in the Fed and it comes to the state and it's administered by the state.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you.
The water tank inspections and repairs on an annual basis, the district completes cleaning, inspection, and repairs on at least one of the 5 storage tanks in our district. This year's inspection is scheduled for April and will include repairs to tank 3 and 4 and inspection and repairs to tank 2. Permanent water purchases. We currently have purchased or in escrow on 1,349 acre-feet of water purchased to date, with another 234 acre-feet in escrow, 145 acre-feet contractually giving Roseman Community Service District the first right of refusal. 350 acre-feet being discussed, as is 685 acre-feet. It's being negotiated. Our bond workout is not complete due to the lack of sheriff sales to accomplish sales pursuant to the court judgment. Hopefully, we will start seeing sales start to pick up soon. We are, however, making progress in settling some cases. People are willing to discuss and the trustees and are willing to discuss payment plans or reductions. Emergency prep. I haven't had an opportunity to discuss with the county staff the possibility of cost sharing in the provision of a secondary route from the east side of the railroad tracks to the west side of the railroad tracks, which we have identified as important in the event of a disaster. Our the solar project for mitigation of the water reclamation plant at last discussion is looking at a build-out in July of 2022. Southern California Edison requirements delayed the project longer than normal, but the project is moving again. Wastewater operator 2, we have a contingency for the wastewater operator if needed, and we will go out again to try to secure candidates for the position. We're in discussions on potential directions to go to better our chances in securing another position for the water treatment plant, water reclamation plant. And that's the end of the information I have on open projects.
Okay, thanks. Any directors with any questions regarding that?
Yeah, I got one question. It'll probably be Brock that could answer this one the best. Brock, with the inspection on tank 2, is that going to be in service while he does the inspection? My question is because does that mean he's going to put his dive gear on and jump in and go do the inspection while it's active so we don't have to take it out of service?
Yes, that is correct. There's actually an AWWA approved method, which is a fully encapsulated dive suit, and that suit is coated in 200 parts per million chlorine solution. So it's completely safe, approved by the American Water Works Association, and they dive that and inspect and clean out the bottom of the tank. They also complete an inspection report that's submitted to the state for the record of inspection. In the past, we used to dewater the tanks, and we would actually drain the tanks completely, clean them out, do the repairs, and put them back online. But what we saw was a lot of water loss and a lot of downtime. So this is a much cheaper and more efficient way of doing this.
And this isn't you doing it personally. This is a hired contractor, correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Any other director? Steve, thank you for that. I think it's also important for the community to see. You know, we've had comments about what we don't do here. People made comments. I had a letter that I was looking at where someone implied that what the directors don't do. So I want the community to see these are a lot of moving parts that the GM and the staff are doing, and also be mindful that this is amongst the other little things that we didn't talk about. So, Steve, I sincerely appreciate the effort of you and your staff, and I think we always have to be mindful. All these things that you folks are doing, not only to making it better for Roseman, and talking about the Arsenic Consolidation grant, we're bringing in people to help other people out. So that's what makes it even more important. So I sincerely appreciate the efforts on that part, Steve, of you and the staff. With that, let's continue. I will start with Director Wood. Do you have any director comments for us?
Yes, I do. Last night I attended the AVEC meeting, and we reported back that it's been good news. It's big storms we had. It gave us plenty of water and everything. But it was the proverbial counting your chickens before the eggs are hatched. And last night, Dwayne Chisholm gave a report that wasn't very encouraging. The DWR communicated to all SKD contractors on 3/2/22. January and February are the driest years on record in over 100 years. The third snow survey conducted, statewide snowpack has gone from 154% of average on 1/1/22 to just 63% of average. DWR assessing water supply conditions to determine if current 15% water supply allocation will need to be revised downward. So that 15% that we thought we were going to get, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. The DWR recently completed its first airborne snow observatory flight. Data shows that the snowpack at the highest and most remote parts of the Feather River watershed is well below average. If conditions do not improve, a likely reduction in Northern California water supply contracts may limit water availability for transfers. And course, the DWR is urging collective, proactive conservation measures. Dwayne also reported that he went into a lot of technical detail, but basically what it boils down to is that the snow that is up in the Sierras right now, it is projected not to run off and into the lakes for storage, that most of it is going to just be absorbed into the soil where it's at. So the picture isn't looking good, and again, we're still facing a drought. We thought that we might have been coming out of it with those wet periods we had earlier in the year. But the projections now are is that everybody needs to keep their conservation measures up. We could be in for a rough go with water availability, especially if AVEC gets cut back down to 5% or less of their state allotment. And that's all I had to report.
Thank you, Greg. Director Glennon?
I was also at the AVAC meeting, and the lion's share of the meeting was about the High Desert Water Bank and metropolitans paying for the various bills, and there was really some concern about some change orders. But listening to that and tying right into what Greg is saying, I've got just a short sentence here that I think, to me, sums up AVAC and Rose City Service District. AVAC's meeting last night clearly indicated the future of water banking has become necessary to assure water for Antelope Valley. Our purchasing of our perpetual water rights to pump, and our participation in the Willow Springs Water Bank indicates the forward thinking of our general managers and this board. I don't think we could be in any better position than we really are, with the ability to pump now and with our interest in a water bank that, in my mind, is superior to the High Desert Water Bank.
Okay, thank you, Director Glenn. Director Wallace?
No, I don't have anything.
Hey, thank you, sir. Director Stewart?
This is my first real meeting back in the board for a little while in the meeting room. I'd like to say it's a pleasure to see Director Clinton's face again. No offense to anybody else. I'm just glad to be back. I just want to ask people, be kind to each other. It's you don't know what kind of day people are going through. And they don't know what kind of day you're going through. So, take a minute, think about the words you say before you say it. You might be able to brighten somebody's day up, but you might be able to knock them out. So that's about it.
Thank you, Director Stewart. Hey, folks, I'd like to comment on one thing Byron just said about the water bank. The water bank was started before I became a board member, and that was, forward thinking back then. And to tie it in with the water that's been purchased by the GM currently, we don't have all of it, but we're getting enough to take care of our community. So I certainly appreciate all the efforts. And I think the other thing we need to be mindful of, and Ben, you kind of touched upon it about knowing what people are going through. We're here complaining about $6, maybe $7 gas, but we haven't had a bomb drop on our heads yet. So I think even on our worst day, we feel probably better than those folks over there. So I would ask all of us to be mindful of what's going on, to be thankful for what we have here, and to say a prayer for those folks over there, because we don't know how it's going to end. And I'm not going to start pointing fingers. I just know that whatever's going on over there, God's going to take care of all of it for all of us. But we're in a good place because we can go home tonight, lay down, and we have water in our faucets. We have a sewer system to take care of it. I'm betting all of us got food in our refrigerator, so that's a good start. So with that, thank you very much, and let's keep moving forward. At this time, legal counsel, you have anything for us, sir?
Not tonight.
Okay, sir. Hello. Okay. General manager's update. Steve, you have the floor, sir.
I exhausted my update in the projects. So that's announced.
Okay. And Lizette, you have the floor. I know it sounds like your voice a little raspy, but you have the floor. Go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening. The district is pleased to announce that we have partnered with the California Department of Community Services and Development to accept financial assistance to help low-income customers pay their residential water and wastewater utility bills through the Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program. The new Low-Income Household Water Assistance Program provides financial assistance to low-income Californians to help manage their residential water utility costs. The federal funds are administered by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the California Department of Community Services and Development. They've been designated to administer this program in California. IHWAP is a customer-based program where qualified low-income households can apply to their local service provider to receive a one-time credit up to $2,000 on their water or wastewater bill. The LSP network is made up of nonprofit and local government organizations who will administer the program at the local level, which includes customer outreach, intake, eligibility verification, and identification of the IHWAP credit amount. California was awarded $116 million. $87 million of those funds are for direct household benefits. These funds are to be used to ensure that low-income households have access to safe and clean drinking water and wastewater services. The timeline is in March of 2022. Water and sewer agencies are to enter into contracts. In May or June of this year, the program is expected to launch where customers can start to apply for the financial assistance, and the funding is through August 31st of 2023. This financial assistance is in addition to the $37,000 the district received for the water arrearages payment program, the $10,000 we have recently submitted for the wastewater arrearages payment program. This funding covered delinquencies from residential and commercial customers that were incurred between March 2020 and June 15, 2021. And that concludes my report.
Hey, Lizette, I have a question. Thank you for the report. I have a question. Maybe you or Steve can answer. When they apply to us, do we pick the people that we think should pay for it, or do they, it's like a first come, first serve? Have we gotten that far down the way on it?
So the district is just the receiver of payment. They don't apply through the agency. They actually apply with agencies that will be designated. There will be flyers that will be circulating. They're going to be asking the districts, water agencies, sewer agencies to promote this program to get the word out. But once that information comes out, we will include it in our monthly bills. We will definitely send out an e-blast. We will work with our local media so that way people are aware of the program that is available. But nothing else has really come out as of yet.
Okay. Well, that's really important, I think, because, again, going back to my $7 gas purchase, I think it's going to be important to find ways to help people. So thank you very much on that one there. Any other directors have any questions for Lizette regarding that program or programs? Okay, hearing now, let's move on. We have Public Works update. John or Brock, either one of you guys still there?
Yeah. So last board meeting, the Public Works Department has repaired 7 service line leaks. They replaced tank pumps, relocated 1 fire hydrant, repaired 1 water main leak, moved graffiti in 2 different locations. They've cleaned 1,250 feet of sewer line mains, treated and then 4 sewer mains, treated at Boston lift station, and dewatered and inspected our clarifier 1 at the wastewater treatment plant. And that is my report.
Hey, John, question. I know Steve mentioned it earlier. Down Roseland Boulevard, I think it's 20th, while those fire hydrants are all set, you guys are just going to put the sidewalks back on, but move them in towards the sidewalk more, towards the sidewalks more? Is that what's going on there?
Yes, we're using the same hydrant. We're just relocating them.
Okay, and that's the same thing going over there by the district, the district office over there on 20th, correct?
Yes, it is. And then it goes down Boulevard, down 20th Street.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Steve, I have a question. You made mention about that. Do you think, since that could become a public safety concern, do you think it's worthwhile maybe sending a letter or whatever, maybe not coming from the board, since it's been brought to our attention about the possible hazards there, to have them maybe come out here and take a look at it, because we kind of said it's a hazard, and maybe make them come out and check down on that?
Yeah, I think it would be better with a phone call rather than a letter, because of the timeline. I think I'll pick up the phone tomorrow and contact the road department and see.
Is the work actually being done by Kern County, or is it the contractor?
The contractor.
So in my opinion, their inspector should be doing a drive-by visit every shift to make sure the delineation is done and it's over the night.
The county
inspector, you bet the whole council.
Yeah. Well, that's heads up when you guys. That's heads up that you guys noticed that.
Yeah, they don't have the traffic management there, do they?
Nope. They've separated two lanes, and you have one lane. There's no signage that it's only one direction or two directions. People try coming northbound on the southbound lane, what used to be the southbound lane, without knowing any difference. Want to yield because that's their lane. Well, they need signage.
Yeah. Well, Steve, see what you can see, because I would hate for someone to get hurt because of inattention on their part. So thank you for that one. Thank you for the report, John. Prior to adjournment, any other director has anything else before we adjourn? Okay, it's now 8:47 p.m. Tonight. I'm sorry, folks. 6:47 p.m. Can I get a motion for an adjournment?
So moved, Byron. Second.
Vice President Glennon. Director Stewart. We have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Stewart. Roll call vote, please.
President Rick.
Yes.
Vice President Glennon.
Yes.
Director.
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace.
Yes.
Director Greg Wood.
Yes. Well, the record shows that there was a 5-0 vote for adjournment at 6:48 p.m. Good night, everyone, and stay well.
Good night.